I was house-sitting for a coworker while she was out of town for a family emergency. She lived alone in a quiet neighborhood, the kind of place where nothing ever seemed to happen. It was an older house, but cozy, and I didn't mind spending a few nights there. She had a cat named Jasper, a lazy tabby who mostly kept to himself. The first night went by without a hitch. I made myself comfortable on the couch, watched a couple of movies, and went to bed around midnight. Jasper curled up at the foot of the bed, purring softly as rain pattered against the windows. The storm outside was steady but nothing too bad. Around 3 in the morning, I woke up to a strange sound, a rhythmic tapping like fingernails against glass. I sat up, heart pounding, and listened. It was coming from the window beside the bed. I reached for my phone and turned on the flashlight, aiming it toward the window. There was nothing there, just rain streaking down the glass. Figuring it was just the wind, I lay back down and pulled the covers over me. Jasper, however, had perked up. He was staring at the window, ears flattened, body stiff. I whispered his name, but he didn't move. I tried to shake it off and eventually drifted back to sleep. The next morning, everything seemed normal. I went about my day, ran a couple of errands, and spent the afternoon reading in the living room. Around evening, I decided to check the front door since I had forgotten to bring in the mail. When I stepped outside, something caught my eye. In the muddy ground just below the bedroom window, there were footprints. Deep, clear prints. Someone had been standing there in the rain. I felt sick. I told myself it could have been from earlier that day, maybe a delivery driver. But the thought of someone standing right outside the window in the middle of the night sent a shiver down my spine. I double-checked that all the doors were locked and tried to shake the feeling. That night, I had trouble sleeping. I left the bedside lamp on, and Jasper slept closer to me than before. Around 1 in the morning, I heard it again, the tapping, but this time it wasn't on the window. It was coming from the front door. A slow, deliberate knock. I sat up, frozen. Jasper had already jumped off the bed and was standing by the doorway, staring at the hall. I reached for my phone and checked the security app my coworker had installed. The camera feed loaded, but there was nothing there, just darkness and rain. I sat up, frozen. Jasper had already jumped off the bed and was standing by the doorway, staring at the hall. I reached for my phone and checked the security app my coworker had installed. The camera feed loaded, but there was nothing there, just darkness and rain. Another knock, louder this time. I stayed in bed, barely breathing. My phone buzzed. A text from my coworker. "Hey, do not open the door for anyone." I stared at the message, my stomach twisting into knots. Before I could reply, another text came in. "I just checked the cameras. There's someone outside." My heart nearly stopped. I tapped back into the camera feed, but the porch was still empty. The only movement was the rain hitting the pavement. And then the motion sensor light flicked on. A man stood just outside the frame of the camera. I could only see the edge of his shoulder, the side of his leg. He wasn't moving, just standing there, waiting. I didn't breathe. I didn't move. My coworker sent one last message. "Stay inside. I'm calling the police." The knocking stopped. Minutes passed, maybe hours. Eventually, flashing red and blue lights filled the house as the police arrived. By the time they got there, the man was gone. No footprints, no sign that anyone had been there at all. Except for one thing, the front door was unlocked. I know I had locked it earlier. I was sure of it, but somehow someone had been inside.